Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome to Taming the Tamaskan. So today we're going to talk about the Tamaskan personality and what it's like having one and dealing with one. You also get to watch my daughter and our family play at the Stratton Reservoir in Colorado Springs, Colorado. A real fun place to take your dog so they can swim or play in the water. First and foremost is the Tamaskan loyalty. They are very, very loyal dogs. They bond with you in a way that's very unique, I think, at least, to other dogs. They're always want to be with you. They stay by your side. If you bond and train them and work with them a lot, they really always want to be around you and your family. They have a very pack-driven mentality. And that makes it a lot of fun to do things. Going hiking and stuff, we work as partners instead of fighting each other. Things like that. It makes her loyalty extremely awesome. She's also very protective of both the whole family, really, but especially my daughter. She doesn't like other dogs being around her unless she's already walked up to them and think they're okay. She's just a very protective and loyal animal, and that is unique in a lot of ways, I think, over other dogs. And I would also say she's pretty smart about it, but we'll talk about the Tamaskan intelligence here in a little bit. Next very unique thing about Tamaskans is their emotions. Tamaskans are incredibly emotional dogs. They are emotionally driven, I would say. How they feel is kind of how they interact with everything around them. So when you set a mood or a pace, if you will, for the day, maybe you're in a bad mood or something else is going on. Oftentimes, the Tamaskan will be too. They kind of feed off of that emotion. But they have bad days. Sometimes, if Taylor's not in a good mood, we don't go to the dog park because she'll just either pick on people or she'll be overly dominant with other dogs. And other days, she's in an extremely playful mood and nothing makes her mad. She doesn't snap at anybody and she just plays with everybody. So their emotions are oftentimes just hysterical, from throwing temper tantrums like a Malamute almost to just wanting to get their way to being goofy and wanting to play. Taylor kind of has all of that, and it drives how she interacts, how she listens. Every part of that is maintaining almost like an emotional status with a Tamaskan to keep them doing what you need them to do or want them to do. Tamaskans are incredibly hard-headed dogs, and it's not really so much a bad thing as it's something you have to understand and work with. Tamaskans will give you a lot of attitude. They'll not want to do something, or they'll just outright not listen. And it's not because they don't hear you or even want to. It's always what's in it for me. Why would I do that? And you really kind of have to motivate Tamaskans in a lot of ways. Some Tamaskans are a lot of them are very food motivated, like Taylor. Oftentimes treats will get you there, or an activity that she really wants to do. Coming in, wrestling or playtime often entices Taylor quite a bit to come and do things. So working with the Tamaskan is a little different than other dogs. It's not just give a treat, reinforce the behavior. Sometimes it's, hey, let's do this activity that I'm going to let you do your thing for a little bit, and that makes them happy. And that emotional state leads to you being able to train them and work with them better. So that hard-headedness is something that takes a lot of patience, and you can't give up on. They'll try and test you, but Tamaskans they'll relent in the end if you really work with them and take the time. Another thing that bleeds over with Taylor is fear dominance, or fear aggression, as some people call it. I think the big characteristic of that is to take fear. Oftentimes, this is a common characteristic through any of the wolf dog mixes out there. But when they get fearful of something, they will tuck their tail, show their teeth. They want to show strength and dominance, but because they don't want to look weak or like an omega, I guess, and that sometimes leads other dogs to misinterpret that. So as a show of force, some dogs see it as straight aggression, they'll snap at each other, and they'll have a moment. So you got to watch out for some of those behaviors, especially at the dog park. I know with little dogs, smaller dogs, Taylor never ever has any sort of, she doesn't see them as a threat, so she doesn't show her teeth. But bigger dogs like German Shepherds, Huskies, anything else that comes up to her, generally Taylor will pull out her teeth and be like, hey, I'm not going to let you do whatever you want to do to me. Now, it's a behavior that I don't encourage all the time. We try to discourage it and try to get her to, just play and interact normally, sniff their butt, get, excited, play. and that has improved that behavior greatly over time. But some days are better than others, and it's not a dog that you can go to a dog park and just let them go and not pay attention or sit on your phone. You really have to give your dog full attention and work with them, and when they display behaviors that are unacceptable, to either pull them apart from the situation, or I know with Taylor, one of the things she hates is being picked up. So if I pick her up at the dog park, which if she's 100 pounds plus, so big dog, but I pick her up or I put her on her back, and I let her know that that's not okay and that she's not going to do that, and then I kind of time her out for about a minute to 2 minutes, and then I let her go back into play. She seems to understand this and works around with it, and I also use treats to get her to play well with others too. Along with their behaviors with other dogs and things is their vocalizations. Tamaskans are incredibly vocal dogs, but they communicate a little bit differently. I noticed Taylor is a lot more likely to growl, grumble, snarl, and do those kinds of noises rather than bark. Not that Taylor doesn't bark. She does sometimes. We'll get into her barking and yowling and everything else, but a lot of times she communicates through growls and snarls and things, and it's not aggression. It's just kind of how she communicates to me whatever she wants. Like going outside, she'll yowl at me a lot of times. But another big one is yipping, I guess I'm going to call it, where she like almost makes a squeaking sound. She gets very, very excited, and she'll squeak at other dogs. So one of her favorite friends, Kona, he's a husky, friend of mine, Anthony, owns him, and Taylor loves this dog, but when she gets super excited, she'll start yipping and licking him in the face, and she will just go absolutely insane. It's one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen, but yeah, she makes some noises that concerns people out at places, but you just have to remind them, if you have a Tamaskan, that hey, this is normal, and they're just a little noisy, and it'll be okay. So some people, it makes them very nervous. I think one of the last things that I'm going to touch on is that Tamaskans love to be happy. They are very, very happy dogs. They're excited about being with you. They're excited about doing things with the family and your pack. That they want to stay in that happy state, and it's very important to pay attention to Tamaskans and keep them there. Either through chews or keeping them from being bored or anything like that. You want to keep a happy dog and a well-exercised dog is a well-behaved dog, and also helps a lot with training. So having some compromises on some things, instead of if the dog doesn't listen, screaming at them, maybe you grab a treat or you grab a chew or something, and you get them to come to you, and you reinforce that hey, coming to me means that you get these things. So stuff like that, or letting them do activities that they really enjoy, like sunbathing. I know Taylor, she's got kind of her routine in the mornings where she likes to sit outside for at least 10 or 15 minutes in the sun and just kind of soak it up. If I skip that in the mornings, she generally is not happy with me, and she won't listen. She'll ignore me. So and then I want to get frustrated, and so on and so forth. So little compromises like that go a long way to training Tamaskans and understanding their personalities. They're extremely smart dogs. Their intelligence for opening refrigerators and getting into stuff, opening doors even. Taylor can pretty much open anything in my house. I don't think she's not figured out anything. But, you got to train them that, hey, don't do that, you'll get in trouble. Or if you don't do that and I come home, I'm going to give you treats and stuff. And I very much do believe that Taylor understands this. And, so you have to work with their intelligence and work with keeping them happy. The moment I raise my voice or I yell at her or something like that, it really is detrimental to her listening and just kind of being upset with me and not wanting to do anything after that point in time. So then I have to go through a whole process of like sucking up to her, getting her to listen again, and you go in a circle. They're a dog that you really have to maintain that trust. The trust is very important with Tamaskan. All right, my actual last point here, but that's that Tamaskans are incredibly affectionate dogs. Whenever you're sick or you're not feeling well or anything like that, they want to be with you, lay with you, and help you any way that they possibly can. And I know anytime I haven't felt good or anything along those lines, Taylor will lay with me, keep me warm. If I need to get up and go to the bathroom, she's actually learned to help me stand up. She'll let me pull her back, or she'll pull me back up so I can walk to the bathroom and be right by my side. Then she'll lay with me in the bathroom if I'm sick or anything like that. Tamaskans, anybody I've ever talked to about with low content wolf dogs is they want to be with you, they're bonded to you, and they're incredibly affectionate in every way possible. And that's a very important thing to me. It helps me a lot in my daily life. It really shows me that she's a caring animal, and that makes me want to do more and more with her. So that's another big factor with Tamaskans, is that they're always going to want to be with you no matter what. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching. I was trying not to make this too terribly long, and I really appreciate y'all coming back to my channel. We haven't had quite as much time to make content on this with starting a new business, and we got a new RV that we're traveling around, so I'm getting to some backlogged footage, and I'm really excited. So if you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe. That really helps me out, and we're going to be kind of taking the journey through more of what Tamaskans are all about. Thanks for watching, guys. Taming the Tamaskan out.